City Jazz Sessions is about great music, arts, and entertainment. We are located in St. Louis, Missouri, and available to performance art lovers worldwide. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. You can email us at cityjazzsessions@gmail.com.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Candace Ivory, and I'm here today on City Jazz Sessions with one of our elite women in blues on the national and international scene. Lady J. Huston is here joining us today on the scene. And so today we'll get into talking to Lady J about what she's been up to, especially life post COVID and her advocacy, new projects. So thank you so much for coming to the show today, Lady J. We're happy to have you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. I was just wondering, were we going to have a little music going while we're doing this front of this, Mr. Warren?
Hey, Warren, you want to run the music?
Some of my music. Yeah, we were going to do a little bit on the top.
We're trying to get Warren
give him a
now.
little teaser.
Warren?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's going to work out those technicalities, but thank you, Candace, for the beautiful introduction, and it is definitely a pleasure to be back here with the City Jazz Sessions. I was here, maybe a couple of years ago, so a lot of new things have developed since my last appearance.
I know it seems like you've been doing quite a lot of shows. You've been doing some performances, and you even have a new project. Is that correct?
Yes. I have a new project, and the single that's coming out on July 22nd is "Groove Me, Baby," and so I'm very excited. We have a lot of fabulous musicians out of St. Louis and singers as part of it, but also. I just was down in Memphis, Tennessee at the International Blues Challenge and the Blues Music Award. I met so many. Get out.
That's right.
I'm saying Memphis is so full of music. And I'm like, St. Louis needs to catch up. I mean, it was just heavenly, just walking down Beale Street and people outside playing, and then the acrobats jumping all around, and the energy was so high and beautiful. I had such a blast there.
Oh, wonderful. I'm here now. I actually live in St. Louis, but I came back in town for the Benetonia Festival down at the Blue Front Cafe with Jimmy Duck Holmes, and we had Bobby Rush headlining and some of our friends. And some prominent musicians like Libby Ray Watson and Galia Volts and, Jesse Cottonstone. So we had a lot of great players down there. And now I'm back home in Memphis. So I've been really excited to talk with you and just, hear your thoughts on blues today, women in blues today, because you're really a pioneer in that, you have just such an extensive history in the blues and then operating as Albert King's musical director. So I just want you to talk a little bit about, some of your formative times in music and, how does one become a blues woman? I mean, it's in my family, so I was kind of born into that. So for you, how did you get into that?
Well, I was blessed that I come from a musical family. My mother, Lois Pickens Houston, wonderful singer. She helped catapult many musicians' careers here in St. Louis. And so she did a lot of jazz, but she would throw some blues in there too. And my aunt, her twin, Joyce Coffey, she is the one that was an avid blues lover. So I would hear the blues playing and her just having a good time listening to it. And then I lived on University Street, North St. Louis, and Big George Brock was around the corner from us. And he would played his harmonica and sing and be selling candy and foods, and I would follow behind his truck and with my friends, and we just danced. But I didn't know I was dancing to the blues, so I just knew I loved it so much. So it was like in my soul. And when I went to the University of Kansas, I went on a music scholarship, academic scholarship. But in the summer, I was approached about playing with Albert King, this gentleman named David Hines. I was taking some trumpet lessons with him, and I really didn't know who Albert King was. I was 18 years old, and I said, wow. I told my mom and everybody, oh, that's a great opportunity. Go an audition for that. And so I did with Mr. Frank Dunbar, who's the bassist and is now in my band, and we're partnering after many, 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 many years ago. And I fell in love with it completely, and I was starting to learn more about it. And I tell you, touring with Albert King was a monumental experience in learning about the structure and how to make the blues really sound good, because it's based around like 3 chord changes. We call it the 1, the 4, and the 5. And it's like it's amazing how much music can come out of those 3 chord changes. And yeah, he was one that really showed me how you can make the music just pop with, playing off of those 3 chord changes. Now, when I write my blues and things, I integrate some of my jazz and soul elements with it. So I like to make it a mesh of sounds. But when I would perform, as we're on the road, I never got tired of doing the same song. They were always fun for me. I never bored with it. And then as I started writing again, I started noticing I'm writing more blues. Why do I keep writing the blues? Keep writing the blues. And so I'm all blues now. Now I do some jazz. I do some gospel. I study, classical. When I do certain songs, I'll throw in some opera. We've got a very wide range. And so, but I like to integrate it, but blues for sure. Now, when I moved to Las Vegas, let's see, I traveled after I left touring with Albert King full time. I moved to Washington, D.C. and went to Howard University, majored in music theory composition. And then I had a band there. Then we moved to Los Angeles. My partner, Johnny Stewart, at the time. And then we moved to Las Vegas. And I was playing with a lot of bands. And then I went to sit in at the #1 blues club, the Sand Dollar Blues Lounge. And Brad Cordell allowed me to get on his stage. And the John Williams was the manager. And he says, do you have a band? No, I don't. He says, well, here's a list of musicians. Go get you a band and start working here.
Wow. Wow. And you were there like 25 years, right? You were there quite a bit of time. So I mean, Vegas is just such a lifestyle. That's just such a lifestyle. How did the blues in Vegas differ than the blues where you came from? Because I've been doing quite a bit of different styles, and so no 2 styles is alike. No 2 cities play it quite the same way. So what did you feel was like a difference in Vegas when you were doing music there?
Okay, I'm going to come back to that, but just in case some of my friends are not familiar with you, can you tell me a little bit about you? Because you said your style.
Sure.
So, okay.
Definitely. Well, my name is Candace Ivory. I'm now residing in St. Louis, but native Southerner, and I call Memphis my hometown. I've been a professional musician since I was about 15 years old, 14, 15. I actually just ran into my old guitar player last night, Elliot Ives, who now plays with Justin Timberlake. We grew up playing on Bill Street together. Okay. And so this week has been just a tremendous week of music for me, because it's also the Pine Top Perkins Camp down in Clarksdale. So I got to meet blues pianist Ben Levin and his cousin Kyle, and they're down there at the workshop. Got to meet one of my favorite pianists, James Hurt, while I've been in town. So just been a tremendous time meeting blues musicians. I play all styles of music, and the music that I create on my own, I call Avant Soul, and that's how I got the title Queen of Avant Soul. And it's for me about exploring communities and the human condition and whatever. Since I also started playing trumpet as a kid, I was in jazz band in high school. I was a trumpeter, so I
Wow.
automatically know that you have a tremendous set of chops and skill and ability to keep this up.
Yes, it's not an
Dedication,
easy instrument. That's true. That's true.
absolutely.
Well,
So and it also takes a lot of bravery to be a woman playing that instrument. So I would like for you to talk a little bit about, how you feel, because you play instruments, you're an MD, doing the musical director thing, and you're
hmm
also, a front woman. So it's
right.
I know there's insurmountable amounts of challenges that you have
Yes,
faced in your
yes.
career,
You
but I
know it.
mean,
You know it.
what advice would you give?
Okay.
And
Okay. So we've got several things we're talking about. Well, okay. I'll come back to the Las Vegas and the blues. I'll tell you a little bit. When I started, my when I first performed, I was a dancer, and I would dance on my mom's
okay.
show. And her twin told dirty jokes. So I was in nightclubs as a youngster
I love it.
dancing. My auntie do that mom's Mabley kind of stuff, and my mom sang. And then in grade school, I started playing the drums. So I ran into one of my teachers recently. The drum corps I got affiliated with, Anthony Williams. So I was playing the tenor drum and snare drum, and we were marching. And then I saw a film with Ben Vereen portraying Louis Armstrong, and it
Hmm.
just touched me seeing that trumpet. And I said, wait a minute, maybe I'll start playing the trumpet because that looks so simple. Just three little valves. I didn't know how hard it was going to be. You have to play all this music with just three little valves. So that was a silly idea. But I said another reason I did that is a lot of women. I don't see a lot of women playing the trumpet, so I want to be unique. But I didn't know all the hardship that would come with that because a lot of men was intimidated seeing a woman, in their lineup with them. So it was hard in a lot of situations. But I love the instrument, and I played piano for a while. I was much better years ago. So right now, I'm just using it to write. So I love the instrument. It's not an easy instrument though. But
Hmm.
when you were asking me about Las Vegas and the blues, one, you have a little underground music ready for us yet?
Yeah. But can I ask you one little question right quick?
Uh huh.
You mentioned David Hines.
Yeah.
So many people we
Hmm.
have interviewed with from the St. Louis scene have talked about him. Could you give us just a little bit about what it was like working with him?
Well, my mom dragged me to a club. I had only played classical music, and she said, "I want you to go sit in with this band, a friend of mine, David Hines." I said, "Mom, I don't know how to play anything but classical music." She said, "I want you to get out there." She's kind of like a stage mom. So I went down to the club. Can't remember the name of it, and David Hines said, "Come on up," and I'm scared to death. And I get up there, and I'm just playing classical trumpet. And he kind of tickled,
Wow.
he gets tickled, and so he came down and he says, "You know what? I want you to come join this conservatory and school for the arts called CASA."
Okay.
And he was over that program, or one of the lead instructors. And he was a phenomenal trumpeter. He studied classical. He was fabulous doing jazz. His stamina on his lips were just amazing. He'd do a whole 4 hour set, and it seemed like his lip never tired. He was
Wow.
a great instructor and just a genuine, nice man. And so I'm not surprised a lot of people are talking about him because he, just for one, being in that Conservatory School for the Arts, he had a lot of people under his tutelage. So he influenced a lot of, not just trumpeters, but a lot of musicians. And I was so saddened to hear that he was driving his motorcycle and he crashed and passed away. So
yeah,
that's how we lost him.
great. I remember seeing him play. He used to play piano in the malls sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. And he always said, no matter how good you get, you need to continue to have an instructor. He always had someone as an instructor forever. I was amazed about that as well.
Okay. So you want to play a little music? Can you tell us about this clip we're about to play?
Yes, let's
Okay,
hear
so
it.
are we gonna do a little feature here or just the background music under the talking? Which way we going?
I'm gonna start off with this clip in the background.
Okay, hey. See, can you feel that, Candace?
I'm loving it.
Uh,
I'm here.
okay, I'm having a hard time talking it over. Okay, let me try. I can't. Okay.
It's hard for an artist, right? You like you listening, you know.
Okay, yeah. So it's called Groove Me Baby, and it's a kind of groove, make you groove, and it's part true and part fantasy. So
Hey,
okay, so you can turn it down way low down way because I'm just I mean Warren is I'm way sidetracked on that. I'm sorry, I didn't know that was gonna happen. My apologies, everyone.
I can relate. It's like it's hard to listen. It's hard to listen to you, right?
Uh, okay, let me go back for a minute. We had talked about what was the blues scene like in Las Vegas. A lot of
Right.
people wouldn't
You
think
because
there
you were
was
there
a
quite a bit.
a lot of people don't think there was a blues scene, but it is a very busy blues scene. They have a wonderful Facebook group. They,
Okay.
allow all the musicians to put all their shows on there. The Blues Society hosts jams regularly. All levels are able to come and participate. They help promote your shows. And when I was a member of the Las Vegas Blues Society, and I was the treasurer for a while. And
I was wondering if that's how you got into your advocacy because you do quite a lot, to do blues preservation and teaching blues to youth and symposium. I mean, you just have an extensive, record of doing that. Is that when that started in Vegas?
Yeah, I would say as far as the blues is concerned, I've had an advocate for patients in the medical community, and was on World News Tonight and things like that prior to being in a blues society. But as far as advocacy with the blues music, yeah, I think you're right, and I'll have to put that in my bio. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I've been checking up. It's a lot to know in your bio. It's such an extensive bio. I
Yes.
can see how you would forget to put things in it.
So the year that I was in the full term Blues Society, we were able to connect with Tom Jones, and we created these awards, and we inducted Tom Jones into our Blues Society Hall of Fame, and presented that to him personally. My manager at the time went to Chicago and presented that to him personally, and we gave them the Mayor Goodman Awards, and we have the Las Vegas Blues Festival, and a lot of the acts would perform on there. Sometimes we pull in more national acts, but it was a very busy scene, and the people there really do enjoy the blues, and they come out and support your shows. So when they found out, I knew Albert King was a nice name to say, hey, I play with Albert King, but they went, so I started putting up, pictures of me with him in the promo, and I just helped attract more people. So my band was called Lady J. Houston and the Fireballs. One of the musicians says, "You're such a fireball on stage," because I'm all over the place. And I said, "Okay, hey, let's make that the group name." And in 2008, they have this a Black Music Award. Now, sometimes people get confused when I say I want a BMA because that's the Blues Music Awards, the same acronym.
Right.
So, but it was the Las Vegas Black Music Awards. In 2008, I was nominated first time as the best blues performer. And then I kept winning after that, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, and 13. And so they started calling me the Las Vegas Queen of the Blues. And I was inducted into this Entertainers Consumers Hall of Fame for entertainers. So with my band. So, and I did touring, all the major casinos, festivals, headlining.
Yeah, it seems like you toured pretty extensively. You just got back from Buddy Guys not too long ago, right? I think I saw some footage of you.
Look at you.
Performing, and I was like, y'all tore it up on the stage at Buddy Guys.
Wow, that was wonderful.
I'm just a huge fan, and that was just such I just know what it means to play that stage. Do you have any favorite artists that you like to work with? Give us the blues dirt. Give this the dirt. What you love to do? Who do you love to work with? Do you have any favorites? We won't tell anybody else.
We won't tell anybody else but the World Wide Web? Okay.
We won't tell anybody else.
Oh, well, I'll say some of my experiences was very interesting opening for Bobby Blue Bland. I did that in Las Vegas. It was a club there called the Cotton Club. And
oh, wow. Okay.
The place was jam packed, and we do our opening number, and it goes off well. And then I see Bobby Blue Bland walking up with his escort security guy, and he's in the audience walking up to the stage, and he does this. His security guy gives him his hand. I was like, no, he didn't. He did that right in front of us. I was shocked. You in the dressing room. Why did you get right there in front of the stage to do that? But he jams. Millie Jackson was a hoot. This is when I was with Albert, and we were at the sound check, and I'm doing. She said, "Wait a minute, is that a woman up there on that horn?" And she kind of like made such a big noise. Everybody stopped, and yes, ma'am. Girl, And so, also in Las Vegas, she came to town and played, and I didn't play on her show, but I met with her. And what I was so amazed with her, she's got this terrible, filthy mouth. That's part of her stick. But this was before they told people to stop smoking in public. She told them, anybody in the first few rows, you cannot be smoking cigarettes. That was her rule. And somebody sat up there and had a nerve full out of cigarettes. And she said,
"Oh no."
I can't even say the words she said, but it was basically, put that cigarette out or leave. And it wasn't very nicely spoken. So these people have some crazy personalities. So
right.
Yeah. And the musicians, especially the musicians in Las Vegas, their resumes were tremendous. I had people who played with Stevie Wonder, and I can't even name all of them because I'll mess up. But so basically, when I would introduce the band members there, I would just give a rundown of all the major artists they played with. So I got a lot of wonderful experience as well, added on to what I was doing, being around all those great musicians.
So fast forward to now, you're in St. Louis. One of your last projects was Corona, You Make Me Sick.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have this latest project, Groove Me Baby. What direction are you headed in now? Because you've just accomplished so many things. What's on what do you have on the bucket list, or what do you have on the goal list that you really want us to come away with in your music?
Well, let me go back to why I ended up here in St. Louis. I had said the only way I'm going back to St. Louis after loving my life in Vegas is if, I'm going out feet first or something like that. And so that's what happened. It was like my health went completely down. And the doctors were saying, we don't know really what to do for you. I think you need to get your papers in orders and go back to your home and find a hospital situation that's called tertiary. That's with a university and a medical facility together. I had developed fibromyalgia in the 90s, and I would fight to perform, and I became a spokesperson that's where my advocacy with the medical side started, because it was new in the 90s, and a lot of people were committing suicide because doctors didn't believe the symptoms, because it was an illness that doesn't show up on tests. But your mobility, your muscles hurt, you're overly fatigued. And so at that time, I was in a wheelchair. Nobody could touch me because it was severe, like kind of allodynia, of course. Well, you touch me and it's like my body would collapse. So I fought through that, got to a place where I could at least perform, but it would take me days to recover. And I started getting involved in holistic medicine, which helped me. And then around 2000, this doctor said that I had lupus. I lost Candace. Can you hear me, Candace? Can you hear me, Warren?
I can hear you. She's frozen.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
okay.
frozen.
Okay, I'll continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I ended up, I was a spokesperson for the fibromyalgia group. Then I became a spokesperson for the Lupus Foundation. And I, again, wanted to keep people elevated and inspired not to give up on life, because, these things were happening. And I was invited to be on the World News Tonight with Diane Sawyer. So a couple of years later, things went down again. And so my mom said, come on back to St. Louis. I have more resources for you to help you out. And that's when the Barnes and Washington University, they told me, you don't have lupus. I said, what?
Oh, okay.
And they had given me medication that ruined my left hip. And I was so mad that I'd been taking these highly dangerous drugs and for no reason.
Oh, wow.
So started having other issues and ended up coming back to St. Louis. And so for like 5 years, I didn't perform other than at my church. I was, again, I got to the state where I was barely mobile, and found a functional medicine doctor, changed things around, and I debuted my show in 2018 at the National Blues Museum, and I did a tribute to Albert King there. We lost her again.
No,
we'll try to get her back.
I am having to reconfigure the video. So she's here, if I remember.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Can you hear us, Candace? Candace? I guess you're right. Maybe she is gone. I saw her for a second.
She can't hear us.
Okay.
So now, what was the final diagnosis that you were dealing with?
Well, what brought me back to St. Louis, I started having what they call tonic-clonic seizures. And it was horrible. I couldn't take care of myself. I couldn't take care of checkbooks. I couldn't do anything. So about 3 months after returning home, Washington University gave me a medication that I was taking in Vegas, but they gave me 5 times the dosage of it. And then the seizures ceased. I thought they were trying to kill me. All this medicine.
I know that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a whole lot. And now I'm on like a minimal, the smallest amount of it. So that was the solution to end that.
Mm.
And then the functional medicine doctor found some other things that would with food. I had a lot of food allergies I wasn't aware of, and so we changed my diet around, and lo and behold, I'm back.
So what is
So
it you don't eat now?
I don't eat dairy.
Okay.
I cut out gluten.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't eat beef. I mainly eat chicken and fish as for my meat sources. Then I started following some of Dr. Gundry's plan about lectin-free diet and cut out a lot of vegetables and fruits with seeds in them.
Ooh, wow.
And yeah, and those things really made a difference.
No, I see
So
the Gundry's ads all the time, and I'm wondering, is this guy legit?
he
So you
is.
can vouch for him. Then. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, he was a heart surgeon, and he started noticing a pattern of, wow, these patients are coming in, and what are they eating, and the different things. And uh, some people don't believe in what he speaks about the lectin free, but I did find some help with that. And so if I do deter off my diet, I will have some issues. So it's best that I stick to it, but I don't all the time. But I do pretty good overall.
okay. That's good to hear.
So when we were talking about some of the things I was doing here in St. Louis, when COVID struck,
Oh yeah.
one of my cousins, he passed away before vaccines were out and things, and he had gone to the doctor complaining of these symptoms, and they said, "Oh, you here? Go take a little of this and go home." He said, "Can I get a COVID test?" "Oh no, you don't need that. Just go home and take some of this." Oh, he just giving him over the counter stuff. And then one day he was like, I can't make it. Let's take him to the emergency room. Took him to the emergency room. They admitted him. He passed out. He was intubated. He died,
Oh,
never
wow.
knowing that he actually had COVID. That infuriated me to no end. And I was seeing a pattern, especially in African Americans, not being even able to get tested with their symptoms.
Right.
So I started this Facebook group and tried to start a whole big thing called the Black Corona Lives Matter, and started doing a lot of research, posting things on my page. Make sure I vetted anything I put on there so it could be reliable sources of information. And so the National Blues Museum put together a competition. They said, I want musicians to write about their lives during COVID. So I wrote this blues, Corona, You Make Me Sick. And it won the songwriters competition.
Awesome.
And I was very excited about that. And it's a fan favorite when I perform. You can find that on Spotify and, things right now. Or my shows, I have the single that I sell. And so right now, this is so exciting to me. She said, what else you got on the horizon? Right now, you go down to the National Blues Museum. They have a new exhibit called the Pandemic Blues. I am the only local artist there featured on their wall with my own panel and photos. A little story about how musicians use the music to express what was going on in the pandemic 100 years ago and to today, my song, and I'm just blown away by that.
Corona, You Make Me Sick.
Yes. Yeah, Google it, you can find it. So that's been my latest advocacy, where my heart has been. And I do believe I've helped a lot of people, especially those that were hesitant about vaccinating. And because I still, have some autoimmune issues, but if I did not get the vaccine, I would likely have died. And Candace's lovely city of Memphis, I walked away from there with COVID.
Oh my God.
that music event turned out to be a super spread event. I was wearing my mask for a while, but only one was, and I kind of started feeling like an outcast. So I kind of relaxed my rules, and Lord have mercy, I got it. So I was treated with Plax COVID. No, Plaxaville. It's something with Plax. I mean, and anyway, it helped me recover faster, and I think by being boosted with the vaccine kept me from passing. And I saw so many musicians, like Terry Bradford. He died from COVID, and Lamont Hadley, and it was just. I said no. And when this vaccine is coming out, I'm going ahead and take it. I don't. I had other family members pass as well, so that was one of my latest ploys. And then, other than that, I wanted Candace to be here for some really big news I want to share. So I'm going to wait. Hopefully we can get her back. But can you play a little bit of the Groove Me Baby? That's going to be released on July 22nd. At we're gonna have a CD release party at BB's Jazz Blues and Soup Friday, July 22nd, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And just need you to go to my website and RSVP.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
Groove Me Baby.
Give me some volume. Warren? You cut your Warren. You cut the volume. And held me close and said, it'll be all right. All those precious nights that we shared. Oh, baby, what you gave to me.
Okay.
I can feel it. Huh?
I can feel the groove.
So I'm sorry, what were we talking about before we started up the music? I know you got this event coming up.
Yeah, well, I have, that's one of my biggest things I'm excited about. And I want you to go to my website, ladyjhuston.com, ladyjhuston.com, and RSVP, because we're going to be providing some food. We want to make sure we have enough. Anybody that RSVP will have the first section at the stage accounted for, and you'll be treated first. So if you just walk in, I don't know where you might end up, but if you RSVP, we're going to have you covered. I've got some wonderful musicians, all of those that were on that recording, and the background singers will be there, and we'll do some other originals that's going to be released on the new CD that's coming up. So, Candace, are you back with us?
I'm back. I don't know what happened, but here I am. I feel like I've missed out on a world of interview right now.
Well, that's okay. I wanted to say one thing to make sure you were here with me, and I'm gonna be real silly. That's it. Okay.
All right.
Everybody, I am now on a record label called Every Music out of Chicago. I am a recording artist with a label now. All right?
Absolutely.
I love it.
So you're the first to hear the breaking news publicly. I wanted to share that with you out here. I am so excited. I am so excited. Right now, Michael Frank is the president. He called me a few minutes before I was getting set up here. They are finalizing all of the metadata and the mixing, the CD graphics, everything, and they're shooting it off today to the president.
Wow! Oh, that's huge! Congratulations! That's huge.
And the name of that label
I know that's a long time coming.
Yes, what's that, Warren?
And the name of the label is?
Earwig Music. Earwig.
Earwig.
Over 43 years of producing blues, jazz artists, and they have some, folk music and some gospel as well.
Gotcha.
One of the music legends out of St. Louis, Henry Townsend, was on that label, and just a lot of great musicians. And when I went to the BMAs, I met about 4 record labels that seemed to express some interest. And
Okay.
but Michael is the one. I gave him the CD. The next day I see him, he says, "Corona, you make me sick." I'm like, he listened to it. He listened to it.
All right.
And he returns phone calls, emails, and I'm like, I'm really digging this guy. And
Right.
so when I went to Chicago Blues Festival, which you might see some shenanigans of me sneaking in backstage doing things I wasn't supposed to do, I film a lot of my naughtiness just to keep my people entertained. So there he presented the contract to me, and some of the terminology and descriptions I had no knowledge about, and he just let me ask all the questions I wanted to, and I think this guy is fantastic. So I'm very happy to be with this record label now.
All right. Well, shout out to Michael Frank and Earwig Music.
Yes, we are looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah. So now I can share some other shows I got coming up, or what? How would you like me to move at this moment?
You right now. You're doing right. Shows. What now? What are you working on? The next step that you're doing right now. You got shows. You got recording.
Say that again,
you got
because
any major plans? What do we need to know?
Oh, shucky now. Okay, well, Candace, you may be able to hear me, but you're coming in and out. So I'm just going to go ahead and share some of my upcoming events. On Saturday,
you're going to perform.
You're breaking up. So what I'm going to do is give you some of my upcoming shows. On Saturday, June 25th, there's a Ukraine benefit at the Center for Spiritual Living. It's from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. There's a ton of entertainers, dancers, singers, instrumentalists. So I'll be performing at 2:15. So I hope people can come out and support that. All proceeds will go to Ukraine. Then on July 3rd, I will be performing at the church. That's 11 o'clock, Center for Spiritual Living. And then this is something I've never done before. Ferguson is having a 4th of July parade. I'm going to take my karaoke machine, microphone, and trumpet. I'm going to be in a truck. They're gonna drive me down a parade, and I'm going to sing and toot my horn with my music track. You guys be on the street, stand out and say hey. That's going to be fun. And then on July 8th, we're going to be at the oh shoot, I forget the area. It's called the Let Them Eat Art Fest. I think it's Maplewood. So we're looking forward to that. And anyway, the dark room is coming up, and so here's my other big project. I decided I had this bright idea. Let me get together alumni musicians that toured with Albert King and do a tribute to him that way.
I saw.
So I found musicians, some from out of state, and then this young man named Stephen Hall, who has been paying tribute to Albert, learned a lot of his technique, to come join us from Wisconsin. So we debuted that show at the Missouri History Museum a few weeks ago. And we've interviewed all of these alumni musicians, and we're going to compile this into a documentary film. And so I'm in the middle of editing and remixing audio and all of that. And then in September, we're going to be at the Music at the Intersection, where Erykah Badu is the headliner on that, and Gary Clark Jr. and Buddy Guy's on there, and Booker T and the MGs, Rolls Royce. And I'm like, hey, what kind of company I'll be keeping?
Good company.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. So looking forward to that.
All right. Now, all of this is on your website, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes. You can find all of my show dates. I got some more to add, and how to get the CD. I'll be putting some pre-buy links in for Spotify and all these other places. And I'm just enjoying it all right now, very much. And let me give a shout out to my main band members. Got Frank Dunbar on bass. He also plays harmonica. He's in the Albert King tribute show as well. Lou Weiner III plays saxophone, tenor, soprano, flute, and then I made him pull out his baritone sax. It was dusty, and we got a picture of it being held together with rubber bands. So, what's his name? Reed Radcliffe did a beautiful photo shoot from that Albert King show, and I don't know what made him take a picture of that, but that's kind of funny. Daryl Bassett on guitar, and a wonderful singer as well. Sterling Butch Lloyd on drums. He's also a fabulous singer. So we call my group the Lady J Huston Show, and that is because I feel it important to also allow the musicians to present their talent. Whatever they have, I want everyone to be able to enjoy that as well. So when we do a high energy show, we do some dance routines, and everybody gets to show off. And I don't know, just want to make sure, I don't know if I said Wade Long is a keyboardist and vocals, and he's got this shout gospel kind of voice, and we do Ray Charles and stuff, and he just jams. So I'm excited.
I want to hear that.
Come on down. Come on down.
Okay, I'm looking at the site now.
Oh, okay.
Now, the spiritual, the Center for Spiritual Living, is that down in South St. Louis?
No, that's near Creve Coeur.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of something else. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a metaphysical type situation, but we accept everyone of all religions, sexuality, income level.
Is that on
some people come in. Excuse me.
Is that on Olive?
No, but it's not too far from Olive.
Okay.
The exact address is 12875 CP Road, 63146.
Fifi. Okay. That must have been something else I drove by. Okay.
Okay.
That's still not too far from me, so.
Yeah, if you want to explore something kind of different, come check it out. But I'll be doing my patriotic show on July 3rd.
So I did watch some of your video where you were backstage misbehaving.
Yes, I love doing that.
Were you backstage
It tickles me.
talking to folks and carrying on? You look like you was having a good time.
I was. Well, let me just tell you a little bit. when I went to Memphis, I was not part of the International Blues Challenge. I was not nominated for a BMA. I said, I'm just going to go down there. My partner, Cyrus Wingate, who's helping me with the music, a lot of stuff's happening now. I wouldn't be doing without him. So we get dressed up and we go out and we network. And so you might find this one video. They had this the blue carpet instead of the red carpet because we're at the blues. And I saw lights, and I saw a lady, beautiful tall lady with a microphone, and I see cameras. I said, well, I want some of that. Get in, let me get in. Let's see. So I had on this long kind of cardigan, glittery thing. So they were interviewing people, and I walk up. I said, I'm Lady J. Huston. I'm trumpeter, and I thought I'd be a part of this. Yeah. She said, oh yeah, sure, absolutely. Let me finish this person, and then we'll call you up next. Okay.
What? Oh.
Then they placed me, and then this woman is fixing my clothes and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, hey, yeah, get me together, get me on up here. And then she says, so I walk with my horn all the time. I was like the only musician, I swear. I did not see anyone else doing this with their instrument just dangling over them all the time. So what I found out, I swear to you, it has not happened since or before. In Memphis, watch out if you're going to carry your instrument around. They're going to say, play it. Because I do it, just a pose here, take a picture, So this woman giving me this interview, she says, okay, play me something. I'm like, oh, and you see that in the video. Oh, And then I get a crowd of people, and then someone says, oh, shucks, I missed that. I said, who are you? I'm with some magazine. I said, okay, here. And then I started getting invited to different things. So I ended up being interviewed on this Women in Blues special they were hosting. I wasn't on that itinerary. Really.
They know fabulousness when they see it. They know who to talk to.
Oh my God. I'm in here. So I met some entertainers. And so then when I go down to Chicago a few weeks ago, again, I'm not invited to anything, to be part of anything, but my cousin, Miss Jody, she's a saucy Southern soul performer. I said, hey, I have not met her in person, so I'm going to meet you. I want to meet you. She let me know where they were staying, and we booked our rooms there. And turns out that was the spot where all the entertainers from out of town were staying. So I started meeting more people. And so they were at the Pavilion. That was the big stage. And I was supposed to meet someone to do something, and they canceled it. So I said, well, let me just go and scour around the place and see what I can get myself into. And I found this backdoor entrance to the stage area. And so there were people lined up to get their wrists. And I said, oh, shoot, I got to figure out a way, give me one. And I run into Anika Chambers, and she says, hey, come on, you can join us. She was one of the performers. And then there I was, chilling out with everybody else and having a good time.
All right.
So
I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
We're probably running close to our time. And so we're going to leave a little something for you to come back and talk to us about.
Okay.
Does that work?
That sounds good.
Did you have another last question, Warren?
No, I don't have any questions. I'm looking at this calendar because I got to get some of this live stuff. I've been missing out.
Yeah, we would love to have. So like, I know you shoot a lot of video. So we would love if you shoot us some of that video, and we'll find some place to feature that for you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, we film just about every show. So I will do that.
Excellent. We thank you very much for joining us today. And we look forward to having you back.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. Say farewell to Candace for me, and we'll have to meet each other again on the circuit.
Oh, we definitely will. We got it on our plans to get out a little more and be present.
Thank you. Come support us. Keep live music live.
There you go.
City Jazz Sessions is brought to you by St. Louis City Jazz, a 501c3 company dedicated to music education and appreciation. The CEO is Magic Man 50, and for more ways to connect with City Jazz Sessions, visit cityjazzsessions.wixsite.com/St. Louis. The City Jazz Sessions team includes host, content director, and guest coordinator, jazz great Ronnie Barrage. Follow Ronnie at ronniebarrage.biz. Host, website designer, graphic artist, content director, and guest coordinator, singing sensation Leica. Discover more about Leica at leicamusic.com. Additional production services are provided by Lions Den Productions. Go to thelionsdenstl.wixsite.com/home. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe for more great content.